Hey students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is Suburban Problems number 1, Sprawl. And here are your objectives. Please pause the video, look these questions over, and get ready to copy some vocab terms and take some notes. Arithmetic density is defined as the number of people per square kilometer. You can think of arithmetic density as a measure of how crowded a place is. Crowded areas like New York City have a high arithmetic density. On the other hand, rural farmland where few people live has a very low arithmetic density. Brooklyn has an arithmetic density of 14,000 people per square kilometer. On the other hand, Franklin County, which is in upstate New York, has an arithmetic density of just 12 people per square kilometer. So that means that Brooklyn is about 1,000 times as dense as Franklin County. Think about what life feels like in Brooklyn and imagine how it might feel different in a rural area with low density like Franklin County. Now let's go back to this image of the urban landscape in pre-1950 America, which you saw in an earlier video. In 1950, most of the US was rural farmland with low arithmetic density. And spread out over this landscape were areas with high arithmetic density. Those were cities. And in these cities, people lived close together, often in crowded apartment buildings, and everything they needed was usually within walking distance. Services like grocery stores, schools, or hair salons could all be found in a typical neighborhood. Few city dwellers owned cars because they could walk or take public transit to the places they needed to go on a daily basis. Then suburbanization happened and caused a lot of something called urban sprawl. Urban sprawl is low-density, single-purpose, auto-dependent development. Even though it's called urban sprawl, it's really a phenomenon associated with suburbanization. Let's break down the definition of urban sprawl. First, low density means that developers build on large areas of land that only a small number of people will live on. Buildings have fewer stories and are spaced relatively far apart. A suburb like Levittown is a good example of low-density development because every family has their own house, which obviously takes up more land than if those families shared a single apartment building. An example of even lower density would be a series of strip malls. They take up a lot of space, but nobody actually lives in them. Second, single purpose means that the development is focused on just one thing, like housing or shopping. Instead of a high-density urban neighborhood, which has homes, schools, grocery stores, and other services all within walking distance, a single-purpose development will only have one of those things within walking distance. A suburban subdivision has a lot of homes but no stores, while a suburban strip mall has a lot of stores but no homes. Third, auto-dependent means that people need to have a car to get around. There's no public transit and things are too far apart for walking to be practical. And even if you wanted to walk, it would be difficult or impossible because streets are wide, there's a lot of traffic, and there might not be any sidewalks. In other words, developments are planned to accommodate cars, not pedestrians. All right, look over this definition and review the three components: low density, single purpose, auto-dependent development. A visual marker of urban sprawl is the presence of what are called big box stores. Big box stores are physically large retail stores that take up a lot of land and space, and they're usually clustered in suburban shopping malls. Big box stores are accessible only by car, and they have huge parking lots where people can park. They're found outside of cities because land is cheaper there, and the stores need a lot of land. These pictures show some examples of big box stores. Although you might have seen some of these in a city, they're much more common in suburbs. Now let's take a look at what sprawl actually looks like. Here is a Google Street View of Route 17, a road in suburban New Jersey. Let's take a look. As you can see, there's a busy road full of cars which forms the main street of this area. Businesses are located along the road with large parking lots to accommodate automobiles. Here's one big box store. Let's see. The Home Depot. It's got a huge parking lot. From an aesthetic perspective, urban sprawl is ugly. It causes beautiful farmland to be converted into parking lots, roads, and low-rise buildings. Sprawl is also dangerous. It causes serious environmental and public health problems, which you will learn about more in class. And here are some gas stations where all the cars can get gas. Alright, now it's time to review the objectives. If you don't know the answer to any of them, just rewind the video and look again. I will see you in class. Bye, students.